lap of luxury while my people are struggling. He does a flip-flop, and that's how we become slaves in Egypt. Isn't that exciting? Over here, we have this really interesting bit of text. You see how the text is laid out differently over here? Okay, there's a couple spots in the Torah where the text is written differently. Another one is over there towards the end of Deuteronomy. When it's written like this, it's poetic verse. So this is actually what we call Shirat Hayam, which is the song at the sea. So this is the song that Miriam and the women sang as they made it across the shores of slavery and freedom. Within this text, we find the actual Michamocha verse. Okay? From there, we end up over here. We're at Sinai. So what do you think the text is right here? The Ten Commandments. Very good. We keep going. We get all the laws about how to build the temple and how to build the ark and what it should all look like as we travel through the wilderness. And then we get to the book of Leviticus. What's the book of Leviticus about? Lots and lots of laws. Your Torah portion is in Leviticus. It's unlikely that you have any sort of narrative. Most of it is law. When you get to about the middle of the book of Leviticus, you get what we call the Holiness Code, which is part of what we read on Yom Kippur. Then we get here, which is the book of Numbers. We return to the narrative. So we're about wandering through the wilderness and meeting up with more people who want to kill us. That's what our history is about. I hope they want to kill us, but we survive, right? That's what we celebrate. That's what Passover is about. They want to kill us, but we survive. We're still here. And that's a celebration. So we keep going, and we're in the wilderness, and we're getting water, and we're eating quails, and manna, and all sorts of other stuff. And then we get to Deuteronomy. And Deuteronomy is where Moses begins to bring all the tribes back and begins a recounting. 40 years have passed as we've been wandering through the wilderness. So we get all the generations that came out of Egypt, the non-believers were at Sinai, that doubted God's presence and built the golden calf. They were not going to be allowed to enter the promised land. They've all died out. It's now their children and their grandchildren, and Moses needs to retell them the history and go over all the laws again. So Deuteronomy is more or less a recounting. And a recounting. Just going to move forward a little bit here. Lisa's going to move forward. A little here. And then, I don't know that many people can see it, but here we actually have a dual column. And these two columns is actually a split column of text. And this is sort of Moses' final oration. It's his final speech before he goes around the mountain, Mount Nebo, and he is buried by God. And the story within the Torah concludes with our people on the threshold of the promised land. And then you have to read a different book called Joshua about how we go in and conquer the land. So, do you have any questions? I don't know if I want to hear your question. What's your question? Jay?
Let's get a wrap on
Where
this.
does it say we have, where we have to work?
We have to work Kippur? Yeah. Kippur actually isn't in the Torah.